Hello and welcome to About the Albums. This time we're talking about the album Broken, which came out in originally. One second. September of 2013. Great start to the episode, to the video, to the whatever. Also, my stomach's making weird noises, but I had time to record and motivation to record. So, these few hiccups aside, we're just gonna do it anyway. Whatever. So, Broken is interesting in the sense of the album being, it's just kind of an album. I just had it out there. It's not really themed. But I think the title of it and a few of the songs on it are kind of related to... I kind of brought this up before a little bit, but I was dating someone, and then I had some kind of, relationship issues. You know how it goes when you're young and you're in a relationship, and things are good, and sometimes they're bad, and it makes you emotional, and so those things kind of happen. You'll see that for the next few albums, I think, some of the effects of that. So there's only a little bit of that here, I believe, but yeah, there's some of that, and that's kind of where the title comes from, and I was kind of down to the point where I also wasn't really, I didn't even actually have any album art originally, so I had to make the album art for this one, and I just had like the video of me playing or whatever. That was the video, which is me hitting record or whatever on the thing and it going and that kind of thing, but there's also some other songs on there too that aren't really related to that. So it is just another album, and it probably just sounds like more stuff I've done. But I still liked making music, so it was good to keep going, I suppose. And that's all I really have for the broad opening thing about this. So I'm really hoping that some of these have some interesting things about them when I listen to them and start giving you the little tidbits, because if not, then then it's gonna put a strain on my musical record and this current series. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be okay. Whatever. It'll be fine. People watch these? I don't know. Who knows? All I know is my stomach's really loud, and I bet the mic picks it up. I bet it does. Sam's Birthday is a song about my birthday, sort of. It's just an instrumental. An interesting way to start the album, I guess, with an instrumental instead. It's not that interesting because I've kind of done it before. I actually feel like I kind of do that on a few of them, where it's like, that's a good place to put an instrumental so you're not bombarded with me singing right away. Scaring people off and whatnot. The whatnot being vomiting. But, like... It's more of a happy song, too, which is also strange, but I believe I originally did this, and I can't even remember specifically, but I'm pretty sure I did this just to put in as part of, like, a video that I did where I was talking and doing I think I was doing maybe something with it, but I was like, hey, it's my birthday today, and I made a video for YouTube with that, and it's like, oh, yeah, I'll put that up, so I want backing music to it, so I made the backing song, and it's this little, like, simple thing of, like, most of the parts are just kind of looping over and over while I kind of play a little solo-y thing on it, and I just needed it to be, long enough to be like background music pretty much, and it served its purpose. And I figured, well, as long as I already have it and I kind of like it, I'll just throw it on an album too. Why not? And that's kind of how we ended up with this simple little number called Sam's Birthday. Take my heart out, take my heart out, take it from my chest. Take my heart out, take my heart out, this is for the best. Take My Heart Out is where we get into the kind of the relationship problem-y part of the album stuff, right? So I guess I was just kind of feeling like I was doing a poor job of being a boyfriend, I guess. and making my girlfriend feel bad. So we were just fighting about whatever. I don't remember specifically at the time of the song. Some of the things are kind of silly, it's details. The point is, uh, the point is, um, I felt bad because I felt like I was making her feel bad, whatever. I also was kind of having issues just in general, like, connecting with people, and I mentioned this before. And so, the idea of, like, I don't know why anyone, like, really wants to, like pretends, I say why anyone pretends to be my friend, because it's like, well, people will be kind of be friendly towards me and then kind of just exit my life and they're just gone. That was a kind of a common thing that seemed to be happening. They would quit talking to me. And then, just that on top of, like, this stuff then, like, making me feel bad and stuff. It's kind of like, I don't really want to have a heart anymore. I don't really want to feel these things anymore. It was sort of the idea behind the song. Also, I noticed my singing is a little too loud in it. So, you can hear a lot of the clipping. And, then there's also, I don't know, the little, like, thing is a neat idea, having, like, the one voice going ooh in, like, a lower tone, and the other voice doing laws in a higher tone. Just in that part near the end there, just kind of freeform, going at it. That's kind of neat, I suppose. Interesting. Neat and interesting are both really nice ways of me, trying to make it sound like it's good without actually saying anything that says it's good. And I don't know, it's fine, I like some of the tones in it. I like the weird, like, synth, whatever the fuck kind of synth thing that I used for the instrument, whatever you call that. I like that sound. That tone is cool. And I don't know, the structure of the song, whatever. It's kind of whatever. It sounds like a song I would do because I did it. But there you go. That there is Take My Heart Out. And I'm going to stop now, because this is hurting I don't know how I lost the touch of how to carry this thing, but it's hurting my hand today. Can you tell? Even if you can, don't leave anything in the comments, and that way I'll know that every time you don't comment, every comment I don't have, that's somebody being nice to me, because they noticed, and they cared, by not talking. We Made a Mistake is a song about making mistakes and not really wanting to admit to them a lot of times, because in hindsight it seems really obvious the mistake you've made and how could you made that mistake. But I don't know, it's just that's why the beginning parts are kind of explaining that too. It's like, I really like the first, like, lyrics of it, because it's kind of like, you say these things and it's like they're obvious, and right after, like, lamenting it, you're like, why would it happen? And then you realize, like, oh, I made a mistake. I don't like to admit it, but I did. And I think that the song just has a bit of power to it, with all the stuff kind of stacked on top of one another, those things. And I think even like the layering isn't perfect, but I think it came out pretty good. So it's one that I still like, and I still every once in a while find myself singing some of the lyrics to it. So it's good, is what I would say, in my unbiased opinion. I like it. So that's We Made a Mistake. There's not really a whole lot of real depth to that other than the common idea of making mistakes. So hopefully that's good or whatever. Be the Sound is kind of garbage. It's a song, I guess, where I'm just repeating the same line over and over and adding a new voice each time, trying to make it a little bit more intense each time. And just kind of the idea of, like, trying to manufacture a catchy song doesn't really work super well necessarily when your goal is, like, I want it to be catchy. And I also want it just to be noisy, because it's about being the sound. So it's you get you get out of it what you put into it, I guess. And since I didn't put a whole lot of effort into it, I got a whole lot of crap. It passes as a song though. You can tell it's a song. It's just, it doesn't have really good tones picked. It doesn't really sound great. It's not necessarily all that catchy. It just kind of exists, and it occupies space on the album. That's most of what I can say about it. Another little fun fact, though, a little fun tidbit, is that I remember posting this, and this was around the time when I was 2013, so I was still, kind of I don't want to say a somebody in ASMR, but I had some people seeing my stuff that made ASMR as well. It was kind of still on the rise. So I was still kind of getting some of that attention before it exploded, and everyone was doing it, and it's like, who needs this guy? There was someone who I had been following. I think it was I had seen some of their stuff, and they followed me. They ended up subscribing to me because it was I had seen some of their stuff and commented whatever, so they wanted to check out my stuff. And I don't know if they liked any of my ASMR or not, but I do remember this being posted and them leaving a comment on it, and they're like, "What is this?" and I was like, "It's a song off of my new album," and they didn't have any reply to that. So I don't know if they just were trying to say that it was bad, or just were confused that I also did music, or what. But I always remember that one because there's just out of nowhere, just, what is this? And then there's nothing that followed. So that's probably a good sign. All of the pain in the world has given birth to what is simply a seclusive earth. Seclusive Earth, I think, was going to be part of the ASMR album that I did. Awesomer, that is no longer up, but I think a song or two survived from it, maybe. It's hard to keep track at this point. My brain is fairly scrambled. Kind of like one of those word jumbles, but not not like eggs. Not that bad yet. I am not yet an egg timer, so to speak. But it's one where I guess I either was before I had that idea, or I didn't want to put it on there, or I started to do it with this and then I kind of canned the idea because of my mood. It's really hard to say. I don't remember specifically. But I just feel like this was going to be one of those because of the way that it was quiet. The music was very low. I was kind of just doing a softer voice for singing the parts. I think maybe because of the mix on it, I didn't really want it on there. I think I listened to it maybe later and I didn't want to put it there because I didn't like it that much. It's hard to say for sure, 100%. And that's coming from me. I'm the, the M fucking source on that. So, I don't know. It's just kind of about this idea of being depressed and just feeling very lifeless and just wanting to shut yourself away from everyone else and just kind of wallow in your depression. It's kind of about that concept. And you can hear the weird airy background thing. I wanted to have that air effect to help make it more droning and kind of calming, sort of. And I really like the way, especially when the singing stops, you can really hear the bass. I'm just I'm going all around on that bass. That sounds really cool. I don't ever remember me. I usually don't do a whole lot with bass lines because usually I'm I need those to make my song move in a certain way. But there I'm kind of playing around with it pretty well. So that's cool. I like that. So I'm looking down because the chord on this sometimes moves around, and that makes you can hear it moving. And I've tried to mitigate that as much as possible. But without some kind of actual proper stand or something to hold this up. I mean, this is a nice stand and all, but it's obviously a desk stand. It's not I'm going to stand up on stage and then have to bend over to sing into that on the floor. That would be crazy, which I am not. Not that you think that I am. Not that I think that I am, or that I think that you think that I am. But just so we all know, and I know, you know, and I know that you know, I'm not. And that is Seclusive Earth. Doomsday is an instrumental, and the inspirations for it are kind of strange, because I know for some reason when I was kind of like playing it and listening to it and everything, and like I was thinking of the game like Doom, probably more specifically, more like even like Doom 64 kind of, because I think I'd been playing that at the time, but like Doom in general, because it has the cool like MIDI guitar things and there's guitar in it. But like the weird like synth bass line thing kind of sounds more like something out of Metroid. And so it's just kind of weird that both those things came together. Yet it's not really about either. It's just kind of like a song I thought sounded cool, and I had ideas of that. I thought calling it Doomsday rather than Doomsday, that was a thing I decided to do. And you have a lot of freedom with instrumental songs because they can mean anything. Like, they can mean fucking anything. Okay? You don't want to get me started on any of the thing that they can be, because it is all of any of the things. And, that's Doomsday. I don't really have much to say about it because it's an instrumental without a whole lot of a story, a whole lot of things, or, for interesting tidbits put into it. I just kind of did the parts and played them, and I went through it, and it happens. Gee, I wonder if this is going to be a really good album, or, just, tolerable at best. Wait till the end, but by then I'll let you decide, because holy shit. Whatever, and scene.
I won't be mad if you run around. I'll understand if you run around. Some other man if you run around. 'Cause you're too good for me, baby.
Run Around is another one related to the whole relationship thing, and it's weird. It's not like I really thought I was being cheated on or anything, but I think it was this kind of like concept that, in retrospect, is kind of probably not a good thing. It really shows how just like, I know I still have probably pretty low self-esteem, not a whole lot of confidence, but how much lower that stuff was back then, where the idea of like that I would be dating someone, it's like they could even like fucking like cheat on me and I would understand. I don't know if it even was me necessarily saying that I was like, I would go back to them, but it's like, you're too good for me. I understand if you would, want someone else, because I'm me. You see, there leaves a lot to be desired there, right? So it's really a really sad outlook on that. And now I think that, I'm only slightly better. It's like, I guess I probably would still maybe understand to some extent, but also I would think it's a shitty thing to do, and I don't know that I would be postering that out there. It would be more like a thing of like, you would hope that that's not gonna happen, that you would get some kind of, decency and courtesy rather than that. But, it's only semi-relevant still. It's a weirdly, and it's just so weird because it sounds like kind of sad, because it's like, it didn't actually happen either. That's just me like bringing up this hypothetical. I'm sure if it actually happened, I'd probably have a lot different take on it. I'd be like, this is awful. How could you do that? Fuck you. I'd probably be pretty upset in other ways. But the only other thing is that I noticed that when the second voice comes in for the chorus part of it, it's too loud. It's noticeably like, that maybe should have been not that loud when I brought it in there, but I left it that way. So it's just kind of jarring right when that kind of kicks in. It's like, wow, the song has got a jump in loudness. So that's Run Around. Not to be confused with Exercise, because I sure as fuck don't do that. Look at that shit. I'd let us run until it stops jiggling, but we don't have that much time on my battery. You only get, like so many hours on that.
I don't see you. I don't hear you. I don't know you. I don't fear you.
Agent in Chains is about being like a secret agent and going into this prison undercover as like a prisoner to try and either get information on or kill someone that is in the prison. And I think that's kind of a neat idea. And then I think also it's kind of this idea too. It's like they have to do that because if they don't, like they can't come in and like get them back out of that prison. It's like not like a legal thing they're like doing, or it's like not known by like I don't know, for whatever reason. The idea is like you have to go in and do that, and you kind of can't be saved. So I thought that was kind of neat, just for like an interesting plot for a song. A plot, something I'm not really strong at, stories and plots, but like I know it's kind of repetitive, the riff, and it kind of reminds me a bit of, I don't know if this was actually intentional or not when I was making it, if it just sounded like it when I kind of came up with it, but it's a little bit like in Mega Man 64. Also Mega Man Legends, I assume, is pretty much the same music in the spot where like you go into like the police station. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that loop, a little bit, the music in there. And near the end you can really hear like it just kind of, once I'm done singing, I'm just kind of soloing a little bit and doing a bunch of stuff. It's got the very wall of sound thing that I do all the time. You know, I feel like I do that kind of too often, where it's like I have riffs and I just keep doing the things over and over, and stuff just kind of piles on top of one another. And so a lot of times I have, instead of having something, you know, a little more intricate to like move and do different things, be more dynamic, I just keep adding things on top of one another and it makes a wall of sound. And it would be nice if I didn't do that all the fucking time, but I kind of do. But other than that, though, Agent in Chains is cool, and I like it.
Baby, take me to where the ground stops, where you head to is called the mountain tops.
Mountaintops is a song. Boy, but you didn't see that coming. Fuck. And it's a little different than some of my other stuff. I do like that the piano and like the bass go with it. It's just kind of, you know, silly, like just saying things that rhyme and then mentioning mountaintops. And I like the singing in it though, and I like the kind of like general like riffs and like the things that are playing, and then like the cool synth, like the synth thing that almost kind of sounds like almost like an electric bagpipe is sort of like the feel I was going for with it. For the solo-y thing at the end there. I think the song just, it flows nicely and it has like a nice, you know, kind of little groove to it. I don't know. It's one that's really worthy of being like, oh yeah, it's a neat little song. I like that one. You know, I feel like it really gives off that emotion because it's nothing real deep, it's nothing real serious. It's just kind of a good time, and every once in a while that's kind of nice to have. It breaks up some of the other stuff on this album, and it's kind of some of the stuff that I do in general, so I like that. See, I can like things. I know how to like things.
Take us all, take us all, take us to your city. Fool us all, screw us all, kill us in your city.
Building Falsehood is about leading people into your city to kill them, at least very literally, and then I guess you can look at it and extrapolate that to other things of like, you know, just like lying to people and trying to get them to follow your cause and using them, and then just ditching them when you're done and covering up your tracks, being like, I didn't do that, what do you mean? I just thought it was a really weird thing to be like, yes, they're like, come with us, come to our great city, and then once they're in the city, it's like, I think the idea is also somewhat implied too, is something like, you know, they use them for labor, and then you kind of end up killing them off when they don't need them anymore, and then try to cover up what they've done and be like, you know, to make so like history and society doesn't know that that's really what had happened. It was a weird concept. I think this one may have also originally been considered for that ASMR album, and then didn't make it just because, again, I sang it kind of softly, the music is kind of quiet, and I probably just thought it was either too loud or too violent to really make it onto there, so I didn't put it on there. And it's also possible that Seclusive Earth never made it because it was just too sad for that. I don't know. I may have made some cuts based on those things, but that's a strange one that also exists on the album. Building Falsehood was the thing I just talked about. See, that's how you put a goddamn bow on a clip. That's a motherfucking bow.
You said you're sorry, I'll believe it when you cry. You said you didn't mean it, believe it when you cry. You said it was a mistake, I'll believe it when you cry. I'll believe it when you cry.
When You Cry is about basically saying you didn't mean something and you're sorry, after. I don't know if this was actually based on the relationship thing or not, okay? Or if it was a general thing that was like framed that way. I don't remember specifically. It may have kind of been related to it, but the idea of like someone saying something really hurtful to you, right? That's like really, really terrible, and then them kind of trying to pedal back and it being like, "No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." It's like, I don't believe it because, like, it made me cry. I'm not going to believe it until you cry, until I can tell it really hurt you as much or even close to as much as it hurt me. That's kind of the feeling for this song. And it's weird because I always think of like this as like, oh, this one isn't very good. But listening back to it, it's like I like the tone. The tone is neat. It can be a little obnoxious. I'll give you that. I'll grant you that one. But like, I think like the riffs they're doing are cool, and the effect on them is actually kind of neat. Like, not I don't have an effect on them, but like the effect that they have for that specific tone is cool. I like the way that worked, and the parts are kind of breaks between me singing. I think the song's actually kind of neat. It works. It's just kind of cool. I don't know. It's better than I remember it. I usually remember it not being very good, so that's cool. But that's that's. When You Cry. I don't have a whole lot more to say on it, other than I sang it okay, and I like it more than I think that I usually do. Yeah, does that make sense? Makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you? With the shadows like this, if I do this, it's like I don't even have this arm. Look. The man with one arm. That's a James Bond movie, right?
Just wanna live, don't wanna die. Just wanna live, don't wanna die. Just wanna live, don't wanna die.
Talking at Your Face is what I'm doing right now, and also the name of the song that I'm talking about. It's just kind of a basic riff thing going on, just a simple A-B thing. There's a solo in there, and then the rest of it is me just saying a bunch of words that rhyme and trying to put them together. Not really rapping. I don't think it's freestyle enough. It doesn't flow enough. I don't think I would classify it necessarily as rapping per se. I don't think you could scientifically say it's rapping, but it is it's me talking fast. I had all those words written down though. The only reason I could do that because I couldn't ad-lib it that fast. No way. I had it written. You can kind of tell some parts I'm kind of reading and struggling to get the words out quick enough. I don't do well quickly. Even just talking quickly right now, some of these things, and when I know what I'm going to say, I don't say them very well. So of course this was tough. But I kind of liked that I did this. It was a neat experiment trying to say all those words with them in there, do that kind of thing for the song, and then it ended with me just saying the name of the song because there was no way to really know necessarily what it was called without that. So just at the end, I'm just waiting for everything to stop, and then I just go, Talking at Your Face.
I can't do anything right. I can only do everything wrong.
Steaming Pile is a song about how much I hate myself for being a steaming pile of shit. It's really just kind of ad-libbed with a effect on my voice and just repeating, music in it. And me coming up with ways to say how much I hate myself. And then the ending is weird, because I say I'll have to kill. I've never killed anyone, or even attempted to do so. So it's weird that I have that at the end. I guess it's just with the energy. So I guess you could slant that part into being like, oh, it's about like why somebody became like a serial killer or something, or just a episodic killer, whichever. his breakfast will never be the same. And Steaming Pile, I don't know. It was mostly just really fueled by I hate myself. That's mostly what it was. I'm frustrated and I hate myself. And I think everyone can relate to that at some point or another. But I can still relate to that many days. I've got less days like that now. But some days. The kill part's still weird, though. The killing thing was strange. Don't kill anyone. PSA. No one was killed in the making of this video.
Do you see our tears? Do you hear our cries? Do you understand when a baby dies?
When a Baby Dies is the last song on the album, and it's about this idea of like babies are dying, and just there's people who are very upset about it, and the people that are allowing them to die are just closing their hearts and their minds and whatnot. They're turning away and ignoring it, and it's a really bizarre concept for a song. It's not really based on anything. It's just a concept for one, and it's weird and dark, and that's how we end it. And I liked the kind of like jammy, like actual music part of it. The song thing, it's cool. The effect on my voice was okay. The chorus part I liked, I guess. And then it's also neat, like after like at the end of it or whatever, then like there's a weird thing where it's like this is a weird kind of like staticky air sound going on, whistling thing. And that was just me turning the volume up on the amp. And I just like kept turning it up. You'd hear like that weird like noise was happening, so I turned that up because I thought it sounded really cool. And so like it made sense for like the last song on the album to like we'll end on this really weird thing happening, and then that's just it. I thought that was cool at the time. I still think that's kind of cool. I totally forgot that was in there. And that's When a Baby Dies. That's the whole album. That's Broken. Really weird. Some ups, some downs, some ins, some outs, some all arounds or something. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to know, I guess, about it. You got the comment section there. You can ask me stuff. If there's anything else you want to know or hear about, that's there. Leave your thoughts and your questions and your comments in the comments. What a place, what a novel idea to put your comments in the comments. Sorry, I'm a little tweaked out still. I think I might know part of the problem starting this out too, why my stomach was making noise. It seems okay now, but why it was making noises in the beginning. Apparently, if you have like 36 ounces of Mountain Dew to wash down half a pizza, your stomach doesn't really like you that well for a little while. So I don't know what you mean. I don't know what that's about or how I got this fat, but those are just interesting things to note if you're going to record things that might happen. I think it has to do with the heat from the lights and the electromagnets and fancy gizmos and doodads inside of the camera that's probably reacting with it. Radiation from my iPhone. Can't be me. Because I'm perfect. And thanks for showing up, though. It's always nice if you are here and you watched it. And I don't know, even if you didn't even find it interesting, even if you're like bored out of your fucking skull, bored out of your dick, it's like, well, it was you gave me that view, you gave me your time, and you thought it was going to be good, and that's the thought is what counts. So really, if you thought that, I thought that too. That's two thoughts, and that counts for quite a bit because that's probably more than the view count is going to be. It'll probably be like 1 or 0. But prove me wrong and make me look like an asshole. Because I need help with that. I'll see you guys in the next one, and we'll see if I can get fixed. Wait, I shouldn't put it that way. So the artwork for Broken here didn't originally exist because I originally didn't have any artwork for the album. And this was on either on Steaming Pile or When a Baby Dies. It was from the video part of that. I took a screenshot of the still because I kind of like the lighting, I guess. And I don't know, kind of like you can see like Mega Man 64 sitting in like in my Nintendo 64 in the background. I saw the VCR sitting up there on top of the shelf of that, and like the TV, the old TV I had there. That's actually like 2 TVs ago, and I have something kind of plugged into the front there. And just like I had to keep swapping those. You see the little like connector thing for like the amp stuff over there. Like I don't know, I had like all kinds of stuff out there, and I kind of like it. It was sort of like blurry and like with the lighting of it and the angles and just kind of what it showed. It's just kind of neat to me, so I was like, I'll keep that. And that's what we got here. And I don't know. I just wrote over it really sloppily and quickly, and because I saved it in a higher whatever, like the format, so now like it looks like the text looks weirdly sharp, even though it's sloppily done. Over the background, it looks kind of fuzzy. But that's the quote unquote artwork. And I even use those, even when it's in quotes, I still use it lightly because, damn.